Quality is what customer pays you. That's it. That is called as quality. If customer is like agreeing you to a high standard, then you have to follow that high standard. Let me give you an example of quality. You go to a good restaurant and you ask that your food must be spicy and you get less spicy, then it does not meet the quality standards. Okay, if you are asking for an iPhone and like maybe you asking for an iPhone 10 and you got iPhone 9, it is not meeting your quality standard. If you get iPhone 11 or more features, then it is exceeding customer expectations. But at bare minimum, we must follow the quality standards that has been agreed. In plan quality management, basically we look at what are the standards that we can follow for our project, what are the benchmarking that we can follow, what is the cost of quality. We already discussed cost of quality and how three baselines are created. Cost of quality is basically consist of cost of conformance and cost of non-conformance. What is cost of conformance and non-conformance? This is basically cost of quality, cost of conformance, and cost of non-conformance. Prevention, what is prevention? Like building a quality product. We ensure that there is no problem and we build a product that is of good quality. Then we have training. We do how do basically we ensure prevention cost or where prevention cost is spent? It is spent on training, on processes, on documentation, testing equipment. Then in cost of conformance, we also have appraisal cost. The money spent on testing, it can be inspection testing, non-destructive testing, or destructive testing. In summary, cost of conformance is money spent during the project to avoid the failures. Then we have cost of non-conformance. Cost of non-conformance comprises of two parts: internal failure cost and external failure cost. What is internal failure? The failure that are found during the project, which results in rework or scrap. Okay, then we have external failure cost. It can be warranty cost, it can be liabilities, all those things comes under cost of non-conformance. In summary, if I say cost of non-conformance is money spent during and after the project because of failures. So actually, we have three costs that is internal to the organization, like prevention costs, training, appraisal costs, testing, quality control, rework that we have to do as internal failure, and then the final is external failure, warranty cost. So this is all about basically cost of quality. Then we utilize benchmark, and benchmarking is basically comparing internally or externally standards and following those standards. It is used to identify the best practices. So as a result, we get quality management plan and quality metrics. Let's see the journey: plan quality, manage quality, and control quality. So we have two major output: quality management plan and quality matrices. Quality management plans tells us which quality standards we should follow, which quality standards we must adhere to. And quality metrics basically tells us what are the things that we need to measure, what are the things that we must follow. We get project charter. Of course, it will tell us standards of the quality plans. The baseline will come documents EF OPA. Then experts tells us what we need to do. Subject matter experts will be there. Then of course brainstorming to find out what are the ideas available to benchmarking, comparing standards with internal or external to the organization. Then we have interviews, one-to-one information with the pupils to get the confidential information out. Then data analysis, we already discussed cost benefit and cost of quality. Then we have decision making. It can be voting or it can be a multi-criteria matrix. Then we have data representation, mind mapping. This, what you see on screen, is mind mapping. In matrix diagram and logical data model, we basically make a matrix and we see how one thing linked to other thing. Then we have flowchart. Whenever we want to show the flow of one process to another process, then at that time we use flowchart. And the very important thing here, we also plan what are the tests, alpha test, beta test, what are the tests we are going to do in manage quality as well as control quality. And then we have meeting. As a result, we get these outputs. So, okay, if I just go with the quality management plan describes the standards, roles and responsibility, reports, metrics, and the deliverables that will be tested. We also have quality metrics. The metrics tells us how basically we are going to measure all these things. Then plans and documents. So once again, quality management plan contains standards, objective roles and responsibility, project deliverables, quality control and quality management activities, quality tools that will be used, procedures, non-conformance, corrective and preventive actions. This is a type of metrics. Like for time, we are going to use schedule performance index. For cost, we are going to use cost performance index, resource and scope. With this, we are going to make. Once the plan is done, we go to manage quality. One very important thing that I would like to say here, manage quality is basically Managed quality is basically prevention. You are preventing everything, are preventing the defect. It is prevention. Whereas control quality is correction. Pre- Managed quality is getting defects out of the customer hand, and control quality. Managed quality is all about optimizing the process. We optimize the process and we ensure that there is no issue in the process. Whereas in control quality, we just ensure that the customer does not get the defect. So managed quality is above or greater than control quality. This is a very important concept to understand and master for your exam. Okay, so managed quality basically have outputs as quality reports, results of the quality testing, test and evaluation documents, and if there is any change in the plan, we have change request, plans update, document update. So project management plan comes here, documents. In document we have quality metrics and test and evaluation document. Data gathering techniques are the same that we use in planning. Data analysis, we check what are the alternative and options, what are the options we can go. Documents, we analyze all the documents, we optimize the process. We optimize the process by utilizing control charts to ensure that the defects does not go out of the control charts. Then we have root cause analysis. Root cause analysis is also called as cause and effect, or sometimes Ishikawa diagram, which is also known as fishbone diagram. We utilize root cause as fishbone diagram. We can also use as 5Y, but we mostly use this tool. Then with decision diagram is same. Data representation, affinity diagram. We already discussed this. Cause and effect, again Ishikawa diagram. Flow charts, histogram. We just histogram is what? It's a bar chart. It's a bar chart show to the frequency distribution how things are going. Then matrix is a matrix diagram. Scatter diagram. Scatter diagram shows the relationship between two variables x and y. If there is no correlation, we are like if we increase the x and the y does not have any effect, there will be no correlation. If x increases and y increases, we will say positive correlation. If x increases and y decreases, we will say negative correlation. Then a very important tool and technique that is utilized in the quality is basically audit. We are auditing that we are following the right process. This technique, audit and process analysis, goes hand on hand. We are optimizing the process and we are checking all the variables. By changing one variable, how we can optimize our deliverable. We are solving the problem. We are following the quality improvement method which are planned to check at and Six Sigma. So this is all about managed quality. Okay, managed
Okay.
quality is basically translating the quality plan into executable managed quality, quality assurance. So we have discussed this already, alternate root cause process document audits we have gone through. This is called cause and effect or issue cover diagram. It is also called as root cause analysis diagram. This is a histogram frequency scatter diagram. We have quality reports. Quality reports include all the quality management issues. They are escalated by the team for recommended action. They goes an input to control quality. Then this is also input to quality control quality test and evaluation documents. They tells us that they are the input to the control quality and used to evaluate the achievement of quality. Then we have change requests. Then we move towards control quality. Control quality is basically all about controlling the quality. The basic reason of this process is to basically produce verified deliverables. The deliverables come as an input, deliverable comes as an input, and we get verified deliverable as an output. And as you know, by the deliverable journey, these verified deliverable will go to validate scope. Okay, I think we have also mentioned that in our overall journey. Yeah, control quality, here deliverable comes and verified deliverable goes to validate score. So this is the main reason. Then we have quality control measurements that will be produced, and this quality control measurement will go as an input to manage quality. Of course, will have work performance information showing the current status of the project, how many defects are there, comparing plan to the actual sales, change request, plans update, document update. These, if there is any change request that has been approved, it will come to approve change request. Do remember, approve change request goes only to three processes: perform integrated change control, direct and manage work. Sorry, four processes: perform integrated change control, direct and manage work, control procurement and control quality. So three in controlling, one in execution. So we will have a lot of tools and technique here. We will have data gathering checklist. Checklist is a tool that basically check and mark, tick or cross to see whether these things are present or not present. It's the most simple and most easy tool to utilize if you want to see that you have followed the steps or not, sequence of steps or these things have been followed or not. Then you use checklist for sequence, for step, for it are used as a checklist. Check sheets whenever we talk about number of defects, number anything. When we talk about numbers, we use check sheet. It is also called as tally sheets somewhere. Okay, then we have statistical sampling. We collect sample after like 50, 100, 150, 200 intervals. That is called statistical sampling. Then if the audience is large, we use questions and surveys to get their feedback. We review the performance and we do root cause analysis. It can be 5 Ishikawa diagram. Then we do inspection. The biggest difference between control quality and manage. In manage quality, we do audit because we are optimizing the process. Here we are accepting or rejecting the deliverable. We are doing inspection. We are also testing our product, how the product has done. Then in data representation, we do scatter diagram, already explained. Then we do histogram, we already explained cause and effect Ishikawa diagram. Then we communicate and meetings. Let's see what is control chart. Now, control charts are basically charts used to optimize the process. It has a mean at the center, and we have 3 sigma upside minus 3 sigma downside. Upside is called upper control limit, lower side is called lower control limit. These are the limit that we have set. The customer has set these limit. Upper specific limit and lower specific limit. These limits are set by customer. We see if the points we are taking are within the upper control limit or lower control limit. We see the points that we are taking are within the upper control limit and lower control limit. If the points are within upper control and lower control, we see the process is in control. Process is in control. If any point go outside, either upside or downside, we say that the process is out of control. This is the case number one. Second case is if we get seven consecutive points, one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, either consecutive 7 point, either upside of the mean or downside on one side. Either side we get seven consecutive points, then we say the process is out of control. This is known as rule of seven. If you get 7 point on either side of the line, consecutive 7 point, we say the process is out of control. So that's all you need to know for your exam for control chart. We have seven tools of quality, the famous seven tools. Cause and effect diagram, Ishikawa, we already discussed it. Cause and effect Ishikawa fishbone diagram we already discussed. Flow chart shows the flow of the process. We already discussed check sheets. We count the number one, two, three. We already discussed control charts. We already discussed histogram. We already discussed Pareto chart is a special type of control chart where basically we utilize the 20-80 rule or 80-20 rule, that the 80% of the defects are caused by the 20% of the reason. So we make a special type of chart, bar chart in descending orders, and we see and basically what are the two or three defects, two three reasons which are causing the major of the defects. 20-80 rule of Pareto rule is applied here, that the 20% of the causes are basically causing 80% of the defects. Then control chart we discuss, scatter diagram we already discussed. Very important thing that most of the time people get confused between checklist and check sheet. So here is the difference. Checklist shows the sequence of the step 1, step 2, step 3. It shows the steps have followed or not. We put yes or no, tick or cross. Whereas in checklist, this was checklist. In check sheet, we count the numbers 1, 2, 3. We check the data here. Is there here or not? How many defects? Numbers we count, numbers here. Outputs are quality control measurement. Are the documents result of control quality, verified deliverable. Quality has checked the deliverable and has said yes. Work performance information